Well, hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and you've got courtside seats for my spoilers review of Batman and Harley Quinn. Let's do it. Batman and Harley Quinn is the latest DC animated film and is written by Harley Quinn co-creator Timm and James Krieg. It's directed by Sam Liu and features the voice work of perennial Batman Kevin Conroy, as well as the Big Bang Theory's Melissa Rauch as Harley. Batman and Nightwing are forced to team with the Joker's sometimes girlfriend Harley Quinn to stop a global threat brought about by Poison Ivy and Jason Woodrue, the Floronic Man. Now, I mentioned that this is going to be a spoilers review. I'm not going to be hitting like all of the plot details, but I do want to talk about a couple specific things, including the ending, because that was kind of the biggest problem I had with the movie. So you've been warned. If you want to see this movie, go in blind, tap out now, and hopefully you'll come back and watch later. Cool? Cool. First off, I want to say, overall, I enjoyed this movie. It's a bit of a mashup of the 60s show and Batman the Animated Series from the 90s. It's a little bit silly, it's a little bit campy, it's a heck of a lot more lighthearted than The Killing Joke, if you've seen that. The opening credit sequence is a lot of fun. It's kind of a mashup of like the campiness of the 60s show with the sort of intro from Catch Me If You Can, but almost done in the animated style of Ren and Stimpy. That's not the animated style of the rest of the movie, just the credits. It's fun. So I mentioned the sort of premise earlier, and I just want to expound a little bit on that. So Poison Ivy and the Floronic Man, who's kind of like a alien tree person, Groot kind of dude, they've hatched this plan. They're going to create this virus that when they send it out, it will turn every living organism on the planet into plants because of global warming or something. And having no way to know where they are, Batman and Nightwing decide to track down Harley Quinn, who rumor has it has gone clean after being released from Arkham Asylum. And they want to track her down because she's super besties with Ivy and they think maybe she'll know how to get to her. So Nightwing ends up finding Harley working at this superhero-themed bar, which is basically Hooters. She's a server there. And he follows her home and then they get into a fight and she knocks him out with some like low-level Joker talks and he wakes up and he's in her bed, tied to her bed, and it's like heavily implied that they have sex. Now, Harley, going back to her early days in the animated series, she's always been a bit of a sex pot.
Go away, I'm busy.
Aw, come on, Puddin'. Don't you want to rev up your Harley? Vroom, vroom.
But lately, with things like the Arkham series of games, the Suicide Squad movie, even Assault on Arkham, she's definitely been fetishized a little bit more. I'm not opposed to her being like, a little bit randy or whatever, but particularly for the tone of this movie, which was more kind of campy and silly, it really kind of felt out of place. I will also say this movie is very, very funny. I'm not used to Batman being a particularly funny character. He is occasionally, but he's not like played for yucks. He's played for yucks a lot in this movie, and a lot of it really worked for me. Because it is kind of weird, his dynamic with Harley, his dynamic with Nightwing, I kind of treated this movie as almost like an Elseworlds thing, and then it kind of just clicked for me, and I was happy. There's a scene where they're in a karaoke bar, and Nightwing looks over, and Batman's like tapping his finger to the beat, and then Batman notices Nightwing watching him, and he goes back into like scowl mode. I laughed out loud. Then again, the movie does use fart jokes, and I gotta say, I don't like fart jokes. I'm not offended by them. I just think they're really, really cheap. There's a brawl in the karaoke bar, and as like a little throwback to the 60s show, we don't actually see the fight. We just hear it from like outside the club. But we see instead of like pow and oof, it's like break and bleed. And then in like a nice little throwback to Mike Judge's 2006 comedy Idiocracy, one is ow, my balls. I appreciated it. Also in the club scene, Harley gets up on stage and sings a song, and I gotta say, it was one of the highlights of the movie for me. Something about Harley just singing punk rock just feels right. Also, the tune's super catchy. It's been stuck in my head ever since. The film also has a couple of really genuinely touching moments. There's a scene of Harley talking to a man who's dying, and the thing she's saying, it's really very sweet. The animation is great. It looks a lot like the 90s show. The Batmobile looks the same. And the voice acting, I'm just going to touch on Batman and Harley because they really are our main characters here. I'd love to say that Kevin Conroy is amazing as Batman, he's Kevin Conroy, so that's a foregone conclusion. I don't need to say it. Now, Melissa Rauch, she's stepping in as Harley for the first time. She's coming off Tara Strong and, of course, Arlene Sorkin, who originated the role. And while it does sound different, you can tell it's a different person doing it. She really did make it her own, and I really liked what she did with it. I gotta say, I take a little bit of umbrage with the ending, and this is where I'm gonna get, fairly spoilery. At one point, Harley and Ivy are fighting, and we know, in the comics, they've been, lovers before, but they're also, super tight friends. And Ivy doesn't want to give up her plan, and then this I genuinely liked. Harley goes all right, I'm going nuclear. And then she starts crying, and Ivy just can't handle that because they're such good friends. That was cute. That was very sweet. But then, due to violence, Ivy, Batman, Nightwing, and Harley are all taken out of action. They're all injured, they can't do anything, and Floronic Man is about to throw the virus into this swamp and thereby spread the whole thing in his whole contrived weird plan. But then Swamp Thing comes out of the swamp, and he's like, huge, and he basically says to Floronic Man, like, listen, what you're doing it's gonna upset the balance and blah blah blah, you're gonna ruin everything. It's kind of like when a parent says, I'm not mad at you, I'm just really disappointed. And Floronic Man falls to his knees, he's like humbled, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't think, I'm sorry. And then Swamp Thing's like, well, all right then, that's right. Then he goes away. Now that's where it should have stopped. At that point, Floronic Man should have been humbled and realized the error of his ways, and that would have been fine. But no, once Swamp Thing's gone, Floronic Man's like, well, all right then, back to my original plan, and he's gonna do it. And then Harley suggests, he's made of leaves. Anyone got a match? And then they basically burn him alive. It bothered me that, like, he was humbled, but then he went back to his plan. And also the burning him alive was maybe a little much. In the end, I mean, I enjoyed the movie overall. It was a lot of fun. It was very funny. It was uneven, and I think it didn't know what it wanted to be. But I had a good time, and again, that song will be stuck in my head for quite some time. Now, I don't have a proprietary rating system as of yet, so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to give Batman and Harley Quinn, and I think I'm going to give Batman and Harley Quinn a...
You're gonna get hit in the balls.
Out of 10. So now I want to know, what do you guys think? Have you seen this movie? Are you looking forward to it? What's your favorite Harley Quinn story of all time? What's your favorite DC animated film of all time? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below and let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you can do so by clicking on the Courtshake logo at the bottom right of your screen. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.